Welcome to the LCTV Show, a program that highlights organizations in the Lynn community that does greater good for the community. Today we're talking with Stop the Violence. I have some special guests here with me today. I have John Ford, Fred Hogan, and Peter Capano. And today they're going to talk about their organization, just some of the things they've been doing throughout the summer and everything that's going on with Stop the Violence. So let's get to meet our guests.
Hi, I'm John Ford. I'm a member of the school committee. Been on the Stop the Violence now for this 4th year.
Wow. Hi, my name's Fred Hogan. I'm a member of the Stop the LCTV committee, and I've been on the committee since the beginning for 4 years.
Yeah, Peter Capano, city councilor in Lynn, Ward 6, and I've been a member of Stop the Violence for 4 years. Actually, we're all founding members of Stop the Violence.
Well, for you, John, what was the turning point that got you guys to begin Stop the Violence?
Actually, it was Fred. Fred called us up. The 5 of us met down at Dunkin' Donuts on Lynn Way, and Fred was concerned with violence and losing friends and losing neighbors and just the things that were going on in the city. And we got together with the 3 of us, Rob Smith and Antonio Gutierrez. Rob Smith works in the school system, is a lot involved with kids as a coach. And Antonio is the Lysoa. He's an outreach worker. So these kids, a lot of these kids are his kids. Mm-hmm. Fred got it started.
So for you, Fred, since you kind of got it started, like what did you see personally that you wanted to get this?
I've been coaching for 20 years, so you open the paper up and you see kids that you know personally, either on either side of the violence, either holding a gun and doing something like that there, or being murdered in the streets of Lynn. And I still live in Ward 6. I live off of Shepherd Street, and I know a lot of the kids, and it really hit home when you start seeing people that you're really close to losing their lives. Mm-hmm. And I got on the phone, and easily me and Peter, good friends, and John's always doing stuff in the community. I called these guys up. I called Rob Smith up, and Antonio, who's always working hard with the kids, and I thought that we could do something. And we got the committee together, and we just wanted to send a message. We wanted Stop the Violence to be into people's heads that but if you pick up a gun, you might say, hey, Fred might have, told me to do this here, and maybe we help one kid or something like that there, And I have had kids come up to me through the course and say that they did the right thing, so it's good.
For you, Pete, well, in your involvement, what did you see since you guys began improve in the city since the initiative?
Well, it's one thing that you can't measure. I live the next block over from Fred. I know a lot of the same kids, like Freddie said, on both sides. It's hard to measure the good that comes out of it. You don't know how many shootings you may have prevented or how much violence you may have prevented, but you do see some kids that had been in trouble that are turning their lives around right now, and that gives us motivation and inspiration to continue the work that we're doing.
For you, John, you've been involved in the schools for a while. So with this type of program in place, what do you think it does for the kids?
Well, it gives them an alternative. A lot of the reasons that gangs self-sustain themselves is that, for lack of a better term, kids are looking for love. They're looking for someone to talk to. They're looking for someone to relate to. If there's no one with a positive message, they're going to pick up on the negative message. Mm-hmm. I think we bring the kids to the positive message. We try to bring that to the kids, and we do a speaker series. We've done one every year. We're going to be doing our 4th again this year in November. And we've actually had some people that have come from the wrong side, and now are on the right side, and they actually speak to the kids and tell them about their experiences, how they got to where they are today. That's the message we're trying to get to the kids.
For you, Fred, you've been such a vital, important person in the community. Everybody knows you from everything you've done. You put together events for the young folks, for the older folks. So when you began Stop the Violence, and you started planning the events, like what was your vision to get with these events? What did you want to get out of it?
Well, just to keep people busy and doing something else with a positive message. And you know, like we said, if you can get somebody away from the streets for a day, you know, maybe something happened, you know, like, you know, the basketball tournament's going down in Marion Gardens and there's 1,000 people down there, and you know, there's a shooting down at Curran Circle. Well, we have 1,000 people at Marion Gardens, you know, not one incident down there over a whole weekend, you know. It's just keeping kids into something positive, you know, and it takes a lot to run an event. You know, it's a lot of planning, and you got to be out there all day, you know, and I just want more people to give back to the city of Lynn, and we do. We have a lot of people that want to get involved with Stop the Violence, and you know, a lot of people come to the events. So.
And for you, Pete, have you gone to any of the events that Stop the Violence had this summer? And if so, like, what was your impression?
Well, yeah, I've been to, you know, probably most, if not all, of the events. My impression is that there's more and more people that are interested in the types, excuse me, of types of events that we have, and more importantly than that is we had the original group with us and the members that John mentioned. There's a lot of people volunteering to try to help. I remember we had an open forum at Fector O'Leary Gym, and a lot of parents showed up to that and offered suggestions. It's not like what we come up with. We sort of listen to what people have to say and try to relate the events and the speaker series that John has talked about with what people are asking for. You know, so you know, it's a process. There's not one event that makes Stop the Violence. It's a process. I remember in the early meetings we talked about trying to make Stop the Violence cool. It's not cool to join a gang, but it's cool to be part of something in the community, you know, and that's, you know, I see that happening, so that makes me feel good about the work that we're doing.
All right. So with violence prevention, this is like a big topic around the nation, not only locally, but you know, in cities in Boston, across the country, cities like Chicago, other cities, Detroit. It's just violence, especially violence among young people, which happens a lot because young people do die. A lot. Young people are a cause of the deaths. So what is it that we as a community can do to help further, to keep them alive, to help them see their future, to help them grow?
It's positive people, and it's education. It's educating kids to do the right thing, you know. And what we did is we tried to target. We start with the middle school kids. You know what I mean? Not saying that the older kids it's too late or anything, but if you start with them young and you teach them the right way, you know. You know, and we know we're not going to save everyone. We're not going to stop the violence per se. But if we help one kid or we help a couple kids, we know we made a difference. And you know, that kid that comes up to you 10 years from now and says, "Hey, you know, I got a wife and kids now. I graduated from college, and you know, I got out of the gang. I just want to let you guys know that, you know." And that stuff happened, but. It is a big thing around the country, and like you said, in Boston, not just Lynn, it's all over the place, and that's why I'm a Lynn guy, so that's why we go after Lynn, you know.
Yeah, I grew. I mean, I'm a Ward 7 all my life. These guys are Ward 6s. We're West Lynn guys, and that's where we came from. That's what we see. We've seen the violence. I mean, I'm a lot older than these guys. I've seen it go from when I was growing up. It was hands. You know, you fought with your hands. Now they're fighting with weapons, and you know, when you fought with your hands, you could say something after the fight was over. Yeah. You shoot somebody now, and the conversation's ended very quickly, you know. Yeah. And I think kids have got to be given some options. I call Freddie the Pied Piper in Lynn. I mean, he can throw together a basketball tournament, a football tournament. Those are positive things. Yes. And even we only take 3 or 4 hours, we've taken 3 or 4 hours of potential damage away from these kids. You know, we've given them something good to do with their time. The speaker series, a lot of success stories we've had. Kids are in jail. Now we're up on stage talking about how they turn their life around. You got to tell these kids there's hope. Okay.
Pete, what has been like the response from the community from all the things that you guys have been doing?
Response has been tremendous. People want to do something. People are looking for an answer. You know, we're not the answer. We're part of an answer, but people are always asking to join Stop the Violence. They want to do something. And like I said earlier, it's sort of the same answer. I mean, you can tell by the amount of people that are not asking to join the group, but volunteering to help at the events. I'm involved with a lot of different events in the city, and sometimes it's really difficult because people are busy doing other things. We really don't have a problem getting people to help out, you know, because people feel like they're part of something that is making the community a little bit safer, you know.
Yeah, you guys are very active this summer because summertime, that's usually when you see the crime rate increase. And some of the stuff I covered with you guys were very active in getting the kids involved in something this summer. So just give for those that may not know, just some of the events that you guys held this past summer.
Yeah, we had a flag football tournament that we do every year at Manning Field, and the city has been great. We run that alongside Lynn Parks and Recreation. And like we said, we started at 8 in the morning, we're there till almost 4 o'clock, so we're there all day, and you know, we get 300 kids involved, and all our events are free too. So you know, the kids don't have to pay for the events. We raise money, and there's great people in the city that want to give and donate to our events and stuff like that. And all we want to do is send the message. We want to put the shirts out there. We want kids to wear the shirt. A girl was at volleyball practice the other day, and she's jumping volleyball in the Lynn items. She had a Stop the Violence Lynn shirt on. You know, that's the message. That we're doing.
The branding is definitely important.
Yeah, but there's a lot of events we do. Myself, you know, I branch out and I help other organizations also. I help Westland Pup Warner out with their fundraiser for kickball and stuff like that there. But we bring the Stop the Violence message into those events too.
Yeah.
You know, every time I'm helping someone in an event, I'm still promoting the message. You know, so you know, there's a lot more events we want to touch on.
Well, we also do the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Yeah. We put it off for August because it was just too congested, too many things going on. But we'll be having it in the fall, and we do the speaker series, and you know, we find a way to just keep the kids active. And I think the thing that Pete referred to was the parents that night, and you could feel the hurt from these parents. They just didn't know how to reach these kids. And they're kind of looking for something like the Lynn Stop the Violence to reach out to them.
Pete, how did you guys, speaking on parents, how did you guys ensure to the parents that, hey, if your kids are with us, that we have a safe place for them, you don't have to worry, you guys can go out and we'll take care of your kids, we'll make sure they come back to you?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't remember any guarantees made to anybody, but we sort of have a relationship with a lot of the parents. I mean, we know the parents. I know the parents of some of the kids that are in trouble. I think they because of the events, you know, a lot of them that Freddie have organized in the past, you know, there's a sort of what you would call a brand that's coming over to Stop the Violence now, where people, I think, tend to intuitively feel that, you know, if we're with these guys or with this organization, we're part of a good thing, you know. And you know, and we forgot to mention earlier too, when you mentioned, you know, as far as involvement goes, the businesses that donate time and time again, you know, that shows confidence to people that want to get involved, because a lot of the business community have been very generous to supporting some of the things we do. So if you put that all together, I think people, you know, tend to believe that they'll be part of a good thing.
That's one thing I really admire about this movement, because it seems like it's like the community is really coming together. Like everybody in the community, whether it's a business, whether it's just anybody, they just want to help, volunteer their time. They just want to be involved and help the kids. And also, when I went to the events, I saw the kids were happy. They were happy, a lot of smiley faces. They just active and things like that. So you guys are just bringing like a sense of joy back into the community, and then you're just showing like, this is what can happen when we all come together for the greater good.
One of the great events that we do is the annual walk that we do, and the reason it's so good is we rotate it each year. One year we'll leave from English, one year we'll leave from Barry Park. This year we're leaving from Barry Park, but we get 300 to 500 T-shirts, and we put them. We usually get about 400 to 500 to 700 people in this walk. So we give out all these T-shirts, and we're walking down the streets of Lynn, and we go down the bad streets, and we're just everyone's community in there. They're yelling, "Stop the violence!" We got our little chants going, and everyone feels so good that day. Just like for a day, we took the streets, and we took the streets back the way we wanted to, and you know that's an event that everyone's looking forward to each year, and we usually do it in September, so everyone looks forward to that yearly event. So
Yeah, people literally hanging out the window and screaming, "Go get them!" And you know, we got the bullhorns, and it's amazing. The kids are all up. It's a great event. I mean, we're walking right down the middle of the street, and people are joining in. They're jumping into the march. It's a real community action. It happens.
Yeah,
It's kind of spontaneous.
Yeah, and that's one thing that definitely helps build the community, especially if you see, you might just wake up in the morning, you hear people yelling outside your window, you might think, what's going on out there, and then you
That's
just
what
see
happens.
a bunch of people marching, and it's like, oh, let me join.
Right.
So that's also good. So what else do you guys have planned coming up?
Well, we're going to have a speaker series again. We do that, and that is basically our next planned event after the march. The march is coming up, and then the speaker series. And then after that, we'll probably have the basketball 3-on-3 basketball tournament sometime. We try not to interfere with school activities like basketball season, so may even put it off to like February.
Okay.
yeah, we try to avoid the in-school seasons for the sports and stuff like that there. So we also collabed with a couple other organizations like Girls Inc., the HALT program. We ran the 3-on-3 for them.
Okay.
It was we had our brand on it to stop the violence, but we did a lot of kids there too. And we're one of them organizations that we don't want to isolate ourselves. We want other people to come out, and this city needs a lot of good people. We're happy that there's tons of organizations in the city doing positive things, and it's great. One thing about Lynn is the community comes together, especially when they know we're at an uphill battle for a fight, and stop the violence is one of the main things.
Yeah. Just to kind of circle back when we was talking about like the parents and how maybe you guys know a lot of the parents that whose kids are involved with you guys. So when you guys sat down, put this together, did you guys take in? Did parents share their concerns with you before you guys had put this all together? Just the whole organization.
Actually, we had the meeting at Dunkin' Donuts, and then we did the forum. We did a parents' forum at Fector Larry, and we had a table set up in the middle of the basketball court. And we opened up the bleachers, and they came in. We had the Lynn Police Department there. We had a couple people speak to the parents just about things they went through in their life, and then we took questions from the parents, and we wrote all the questions down, and we tried to address some of the things, ideas they gave us, so it was really good, with the parents' input and stuff like that.
Okay, and police involvement, that's also very important, building the relationship with the community.
Yes, we have
and the police.
Lieutenant Peter Holy is on our committee also.
Okay.
So one thing about our committee, it's very diverse. We have a lot of people from different parts of the city. We have Rob Smith, as we said, he's a coach over at Lynn Classical, and we have Carolyn Trujillo, she's Lavos newspaper. We have Val DeLand, she's helping Ebony White, she's over at Centerboard. Of course, Antonio Gutierrez, Ruben Holquin. Are we missing anyone?
I think that's it. I think that's it.
So we have a good diverse group. We have and everyone we meet, and everyone takes on a different thing. And someone will say, "Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that there." So we all pitch in, and everyone helps out pretty good with all the events.
What Pete mentioned something I think is really important is how the community has come together behind us. We literally had zero funds, and we continued to operate on zero funds, and we'd be laughing with each other saying, well, how many T-shirts we buy? We'd be figuring out, I think we get 155 or something like that. We just literally, from meeting to meeting, we were down to the penny as to what we could give back, but the community has really responded. We've got patrons that they sponsor every event, and we've now actually got a little money in the kitty that we're going to, we're buying the tote bags that Fred designed the tote bag, and we're going to get that out, and the kids will be carrying those around pretty soon.
All right, and for those So for those that want to get involved and be part of this, how can they contact you guys?
Our email address is on the screen, stoptheviolencelynn@gmail.com. Actually, that's my phone number up there, 781-244-7921. It's open to anyone to give me a call at any time or send me a text, and I'll keep information. If you want to get involved, jump into the walk, come to one of the events, come over and talk to us. And if you have ideas, we take ideas too, because we can't do something every week. It's a lot of work. Right, we don't have all the answers, but we'll take input, because that's what we want to do.
Well, you guys are definitely doing a great job in the community, and it's very appreciated. And on that note, we're going to end the show. I've been your host, Mukala Kabongo. I just want to thank my guests, thank Stop the Violence Movement for coming, and you guys have a great day out there. Oh.